Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And this is going to be a long one. So we're going to play Red Eyes Reverse today. And Red Eyes Reverse is quite possibly the most control-heavy deck I've ever seen, where you just literally dump every spell and trap you can think of into your deck to try and stop your opponent from doing anything, because your monsters aren't going to stop them from doing anything. The skill is called Red Eyes Reverse. During this duel, if you have at least 7 Red Eyes monsters in your deck at the beginning of the duel, you can normal summon or set Red Eyes Black Dragon without tributing, and you cannot special summon monsters except Red Eyes monsters. That's not true, it's just, you can't special summon Red Eyes monsters or monsters from the extra deck. Also, you can change the battle position of Red Eyes Black Dragon the turn you have normal summoned it in face down defense position. In addition, the following effect can be used once per duel. If you control a Red Eyes monster, set one Red Eyes spell or trap directly from your deck to the field. Then if you don't control any normal monsters, return one card from your hand to your deck. So if you summon Red Eyes, you get to use the effect for free. If you play the fusion spell and get a fusion monster out, then you have to pay a card from your hand. So we have 7 Red Eyes monsters, and then we have a bunch of other stuff, because the Red Eyes monsters, while they are very, very good at OTKing, while they are very good at removing any sort of threat during your turn, they have no quick effects. So we need everything else to stop their opponent from killing us. For the main deck, we have Gearfree, the Red Eyes Iron Knight. Once per turn, if either player equips an equip card to this card, you can destroy those equip cards. Then you can destroy one spell or trap your opponent controls. Once per turn, you can send an equip card you control that is equipped to this card to the graveyard, then target one level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So Gearfree, the Red Eyes Iron Knight, allows you to use Red Eyes Fang with Chain to basically pop spells and traps if you want to. That's kind of a cute interaction. Obviously, you would rather use Red Eyes Fang with Chain to steal one of your opponent's monsters, but it is nice to have the option, and this is a warrior, so we can use it to make our Red Eyes Slash Dragon, so it's a good card. Red Eyes Wyvern. Once per turn during your end phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and then target one Red Eyes monster in your graveyard and special summon it. You cannot normal summon or set during the turn you activate this effect. Red Eyes Wyvern is a great card to mill with the Meteor Comet Dragon, so you just kind of have it in your graveyard. If you don't happen to have any normal summons during the end of a turn after your opponent has destroyed one of your cards, you can bring back one of your fusion monsters and really crush your opponent. Effect Veiler, this is just interruption. Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact. If you have the new level 6, the Meteor Dragon, you should play that instead, but I don't. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. When this card is a normal monster on the field, you can normal summon it to have it become an effect monster. With this effect, other Red Eyes monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. That effect is really good. You can revive this card with the trap card. Since it's a normal monster, it counts as being a Red Eyes normal monster for the skill. So if you have this card out, you can use the skill without shuffling a card back in your deck. And protecting your monsters from being destroyed is pretty nice, but mostly you're just going to mill this card to make the Meteor Comet Dragon. And the Red Eyes Meteor Dragon is better to mill because you can banish it to get fusion, so this is just a placeholder. Red Eyes Retro Dragon, this is a great hand trap. If a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster you control is destroyed by your opponent's attack or card effect and sent to the graveyard while this card is in your hand, you can special summon this card in defense position, and if you do, special summon as many of those monsters destroyed as possible in the same position they were when they were destroyed. So, let's say you have Slash Dragon, Red Eyes, and Meteor Impact on your field, right? And your opponent plays Dark Hole. Okay, well, you're going to bring them all back. Special summon the Red Eyes Retro Dragon, and then bring back 2 of them, because you can't special summon a monster to the extra monster zone from the graveyard, and then just, wreck your opponent. You can tribute this card. You can normal summon 1 Red Eyes monster during your main phase. In addition to your normal summoner set, you can only gain this effect once per turn. That effect isn't going to come up too much with this deck, but it is nice to be able to get this card off the field if you really need to. I was up against a Chaos Max, and I tributed this card just to get it off the field so that I didn't get pierced. I thought it was going to buy me 1 turn, but it didn't. But regardless, it is nice to just be able to get this card off the field no matter what. So, either link it off or use its effect. Then we have Red Eyes, of course. You need it. Last card is Beast of Tawar. This is used to make the Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. If you want to play Summon Skull, play Summon Skull. I don't have it. I'm playing 2 copies of Summoner's Art. This lets you draw your Red Eyes Black Dragon to make sure that you can play the card. 3 Book of Moons, because it's not limit 3. Fisher. Destroy the face-up monster your opponent controls that has the lowest attack. Watch the replays. This card carries. Fisher is so good. Oh my god. I love this card. It's so good. It allows you to clear the board without hurting your own board like Dark Hole. Doesn't cost anything like Lightning Vortex. Popping a card on your opponent's field for nothing is fantastic. This card is definitely worth the SR slot, and I had a ton of fun playing this card. Red Eyes Fusion. Fusion summon a monster that lists a Red Eyes monster as material from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand, deck, or field as fusion material, and if you do, its name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon, and you cannot normal summon or special summon the turn you activate this card. So what you do is you can set your Red Eyes for without tributing, flip summon it, and then you'll be able to have both Red Eyes and a Red Eyes Fusion monster on the field at the same time. The skill is very good. Red Eyes Insight, send 1 Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, draw a Red Eyes spell or trap. So you will usually use this to get Fusion. If you already have Fusion, you can get Red Eyes Fang with Chain or the trap card, Red Eyes Rebirth or whatever it's called. Very good card. Basically gives you 6 copies of Red Eyes Fusion, which you need because you're running 30 cards. Crackdown, get rid of your opponent's stuff, make sure they can't exceed summon. This is very good against Constellars. Stop your opponent. Red Eyes Fang with Chain. Target 1 Red Eyes monster you control, equip this card to it. It can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. Nice! That's really good removal. You can send this card to the graveyard, then target 1 effect monster on the field, equip that target to this card, and then if you do, while it is a monster equipped by this effect, its attack and defense become equal to the original attack and defense of the equipped monster. So what that means is, let's say your opponent summons like alternative, Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, you can activate Red Eyes Fang with Chain, you steal the alternative, it becomes an equipped spell on your side of the field, and your Red Eyes monster has 3,000 attack points now. Is that good? Yes, that's insanely good. And the skill, if you set this card with the skill, you can activate it that turn, which is crazy. Wow, is that a good effect. You'll see it in the replay. Necrofusion. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your graveyard face down, but it cannot attack this turn. We will use this usually to make Borreload during our opponent's turn to give us some disruption. Some modicum of disruption. Destroying the Meteor Black Comet Dragon is pretty nice because you get the effect of Borreload, and then you also get to revive a Red Eyes monster from a graveyard, so it doesn't cost you nearly as much. I like it. Lastly, we have Return of the Red Eyes. If you control Red Eyes monster, you can target 1 normal monster in graveyard and special summon it. That can include the Red Eyes Impact because it's a Gemini monster. If this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 Red Eyes monster in graveyard and special summon it. You can only use each effect once per turn. You can use both effects, so if your opponent plays MST, you can use Red Eyes Return in response, special summon a Red Eyes monster from your graveyard, then it pops, then you get another Red Eyes monster from your graveyard. It's very good. For the extra deck, we have Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. This requires a level 6 Archfiend normal monster plus 1 Red Eyes normal monster, so basically Beast of Talwar. You can only special summon Archfiend Black Skull Dragon once per turn. If this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. That is insane. Armades is a very good card. This card has 3,200 attack points, so it's much better than Armades. If damage calculation is performed involving this fusion summon card, at the end of the battle phase, you can target 1 Red Eyes normal monster in your graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its attack in the graveyard, then shuffle it back into the deck. So burn your opponent for 1,200 by shuffling Red Eyes back in your deck, and then you can play Red Eyes Fusion again. Is that good? That's insane. Absolutely. That is a great effect. Burn your opponent, that's what Red Eyes is for, 1,200 damage, and you also get to attack without fear. I love this card. It is probably the best card in the deck. Borreload Furious Dragon. As a quick effect, you can target 1 monster you control, 1 card your opponent controls, and destroy them. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target a Dark Link monster in graveyard, and special summon it, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. We don't have any Dark Link monsters. So, this card cannot be made with Red Eyes Fusion because it doesn't specifically list a Red Eyes monster as material, but you activate Necrofusion, you special summon it, pop something, and get your opponent off the field. It's a good card. Meteor Black Comet Dragon, you will most often make this card going first. When it's fusion summoned, you can send 1 Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to a quarter of the original attack of that monster. You can mill another Red Eyes with this if you really want to, but I will usually mill Wyvern to get its grave effect active, and that's really nice. If this card is set from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can target 1 normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So this will bring back your Red Eyes. Great. Red Eyes Slash Dragon. This requires a Red Eyes monster plus a warrior monster. When a Red Eyes monster declares an attack, you can target 1 warrior monster in your graveyard. Equip it to this card as an equipped spell. It gives it 200 attack points. When a card or effect is activated that targets a card you control, as a quick effect, you could send 1 equipped card you control to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. That is not once per turn. So just like Decode Talker, Red Eyes Slash Dragon can keep throwing equipped cards away to counter and destroy every targeting effect you have. And Dark Cavalry. For some reason, they really don't care how often you can sacrifice something to negate and destroy targeting effects. They just love that effect being infinite. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon as many monsters from your graveyard that were equipped to this card. So you will usually make this card just because it's level 7, and it gives you an extra option for Exceed Summoning. Speaking of Exceed Summoning, number 11 Big Eye requires 2 level 7s. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card to target 1 monster your opponent controls and take control of it permanently. This card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. I personally can't believe that we ever got Big Eye in Duel Links. It's such a unique effect to take your opponent's monster forever without them having any option to respond to it or stop it. Like, you can negate Big Eye's effect, but it's not like Snatch Steal or Comic Hand where you could just pop the equip spell and get your monster back. It is literally like, I activated the effect, I resolved it, now that monster is mine forever. Very, very cool. And I highly recommend this card. It is such a good card. Volifernergy is the Darkest Dragon Doom Rider. Again, this is our pitiful, pitiful attempt to try and get some interaction during our opponent's turn. We can spend 2 level 7s to get 1 pop. It's not good. This is basically like our only out to Chaos Max. You can Volifernergy's destroy itself to give one of your other monsters 2100 attack points and then beat over Chaos Max. That's like the only thing you can do. Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. This requires 2 level 7s. It cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has Exceeds material. That is an extremely nice effect. While this card has Exceeds material, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, immediately burn them for 250. So there are a lot of Red Eyes decks that try and make this card like 2 or 3 times and then burn the opponent to death because we have so few life points. That's really funny. That's not my goal. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Exceeds material from this card, then target 1 Red Eyes normal monster in graveyard and special summon it. That is a very good effect. You will use it a lot. And lastly, we have Nightmare Phoenix. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. Alright, we are going second against Machina Trains, and we have the OTK in our hand. Watch closely. Alright, opponent's going to activate Irradiator, discard Citadel, then they special summon the Super Express Bullet Train. They activate Irradiator to try and pop it to special summon Citadel and something else. We will effect failure that. They activate Unstoppable Train so they can normal summon a level 10. They summon the Super Express Bullet Train number 2, Exceeds into Gustav, and blast us for 1,000. Then they Exceeds into Super Railway Juggernaut Libe, and attach another material to make its defense points 6,000, then they pass to us. Our turn. Alright. We activate Summoner's Art to draw Red Eyes. Then we activate Fissure to destroy the Machina Irradiator. This will trigger Citadel, so Citadel comes back. Now we can play Fissure to destroy Citadel. Now we don't have to worry about any interruption on our opponent's side. We normal summon our Red Eyes Black Dragon, and we activate the skill to set Red Eyes Fangwood Chain from our deck, activate the Red Eyes Fangwood Chain, steal the opponent's monster, make Red Eyes' attack points 4,000, and attack for game. There you go. That's the power of Red Eyes Reverse. Normal summon your Red Eyes without tributes, draw a free Red Eyes Fangwood Chain, and activate it during your turn, and crush your opponents. Always play Fissure. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.